These are some new Fern earrings that Michelle just designed, and we have them in the store. So it's super exciting because she's going to show you how to make them. And if you enjoy it, you can always like and subscribe and watch, because we have hundreds of videos we've done and a lot more to come. Hang in there, and Michelle's going to pop in and show you how to do it right now.
Everybody, it's Michelle from the Bead Gallery, and today I'm going to show you how to make one of our newest designs, our fern leaf earring. For this project, I'm going to be using our basic wire wrap pliers and a wire cutter. So the basic wire wrap pliers that we're going to be using today are the chain nose pliers. So you'll notice that they have a pointy tip and a smooth jaw. I'm going to be using round nose pliers, and they have a conical shaped tip and they're round. This is what we're going to be making our loops on. And we're going to be using a flat nose plier. So this one has a squared off tip, and again it's smooth on the inside. You don't want to use any tools that are textured on the inside because they can mark up your metal as you work with it. And so I also have a wire cutter here. This cutter cuts up to 16 gauge wire, which is way thicker than I'm going to be using in today's project. But it is an excellent flush cutter, and we'll be able to get really close and make a nice clean cut. To make our fern leaf earrings, these are the supplies that we're going to be using. I have 2 fern leaf links, 2 bead caps. These will fit up to 8mm round beads. I have 8mm crystal pearls, 2 of them. Pretty much I have 2 of everything. I have 2 head pins. These are 24 gauge ball head pins. These are gold fill. I have 6mm gem cut crystals. This is a really pretty color called seafoam satin. There's a pair of ear wires here, and 6 inches of 22 gauge half hard wire. To start the earring, I'm going to wire wrap my crystal pearl and bead cap to the bottom of my fern link. So I'm going to string the pearl onto my ball head pin, and then a string on my bead cap. Then we're going to do a basic wire wrap loop on top of that. So I have my chain nose plier here, and I'm going to bend a right angle right on the top of the plier. Okay. I want to switch to a round nose plier and sandwich the wire between the jaws of the plier. I'm going to pull the wire up, over, and around like so. We're going to switch to the bottom jaw and complete my loop. Sometimes if that space is a little bit too big, I kind of like to move my loop forward just a little bit, which you can do. So I'm just going to roll it just a little bit, and then I have to redo my right angle so that my loop is centered on top of my wire. This. So you can adjust it a little bit. And then I'm going to attach it to the bottom of my fern link. Okay. The link at the bottom is on the thicker side, so you will have to make this loop a little bit larger than just the tip of the round nose plier. You'll probably have to go about halfway down to make a decent size loop, and so it hangs nicely. Then I'm going to hold the loop, as much of it as I can, with my chain nose plier, and I'm going to wrap the tail of the wire around the bottom of the loop until I touch the top of my bead cap. This one's going to take several coils. And once you touch the top of the bead cap with your coils, then you can trim the extra wire away. Make sure you cover the tip of the wire so it doesn't go flying. And if any wire is sticking out, we can use our chain nose plier to kind of push that down just a little so it doesn't catch on anything. And now I'm ready to attach my crystal to the top of the fern link. For that, we're going to be using our 22 gauge half hard wire. And I'm going to do a basic wire wrap loop. The first one I'm going to do is just going to attach right into the top of the leaf like that. So you can use your chain nose or your flat nose plier and make a right angle. Then we're going to go about halfway down the plier like this, up, over, and around, and then push past and roll forward so that this wire is pretty much at a right angle to that wire and your loop is centered like a lollipop. Okay, we're gonna pop that loop open just a little.
Michelle, can you show us how you open that loop up?
Yes, I'm gonna be using a flat nose plier and just swiveling the wire outward like this to open the loop just a little bit.
I like how you use the tool to crank that loop open.
Yes.
Very efficient.
Okay, then I'm going to switch to a chain nose plier and kind of hold that shut. Because I don't want such a long space and my tail is kind of short, I'm just going to wrap one time around like this. So I have just a single coil holding my loop shut.
What's the most you ever wrap when you're wire wrapping?
Me personally, I like to do one coil.
On all your wire wraps?
All my wire wraps. Yes, this drop was an anomaly for me. All right, so I have one coil holding that shut. And I'm going to show you how I do it so that I can do one coil on the top.
That's right, because we want the same amount of coils on both sides.
Well, it doesn't really matter for this, but like if you want to have as little space between your loop and your bead as possible, this is a trick that you can do. I do it for pretty much all the beads that I use. If you're using a bicone or a crystal that has a really sharp point, you may not want to do what I'm about to do because you may crack your crystal. But this is a sort of smooth rounded top and this is fairly thin wire. So what I do is actually I'm going to bend my wire against the top of the bead. Okay, now you have to figure out which way to bend the wire. If you are going to attach your ear wire like this, you see that the loop is on edge, and that means this loop has to be facing forward, so it has to be in the same plane as the leaf. Okay, so I'm going to bend my wire right against the top of the bead like so. So it's sticking off to the side, but it's in the same plane. It's not perpendicular to the plane of my leaf. Then I'm going to get my round nose plier. So I took out the use of the chain nose plier at that point in that step. Okay, so I'm going to pull the wire up, over, and around, and then I'm going to switch to the bottom jaw, pretty much the same thing, and I'm going to roll the loop forward and open it up just a little bit like this. So you see it's almost touching the top of the bead. At that point, I'm going to hold my loop and wrap it shut. And you see there's only enough space to do one coil. Like that. Okay. If you want a nice drop shape though, several loops is fine, several coils is fine. Like this, it's okay, but I like the loops to sit really close to the bead. That's a personal preference. Okay, again, we're going to hold on to the wire, keep it from flying away when we cut. And we're going to use our chain nose plier to tuck any wire that sticks out down It's a little tricky to get in that space because it's so small, but you can do it if you have a really nice small chain nose plier. Like this.
Are all chain nose pliers that tiny at the tip?
Sadly, no. This is our Lindstrom. It's our premium line of pliers, but you may be able to find a few more economical models out there on the market that have a tinier tip. So yeah, the smaller the tip, the closer you can get to your piece.
So if you want to do the Michelle one wrap, you need this particular
It would
plier.
help. Yeah, it helps a lot. Okay, so I have my loop done here, and now I'm ready to attach it to my ear wire.
Hey Michelle, I noticed something. You know how earlier you were saying if you make this loop too small, it won't fit right into that hole. And if you make it too small, sometimes it gets tight
And it doesn't hang nicely.
Yeah. So what do you do to fix that?
If you already attached it the way I did, you probably have to cut it off and do
Do
it
it
again,
again.
and just go farther down the jaw of the round nose plier to make your loop bigger.
Well, there you go. Tips and tricks from a pro.
Okay, so I'm going to just swivel open the loop on my ear wire with my flat nose plier. You just oosh it open like this. Never pull your loop open like that because you'll never be able to get your loop round again. So you have to swivel it open like a little door. Okay, and then we're gonna attach our leaf to the ear wire. And then we're gonna swivel that shut. And here you have it, one side of the fern leaf earring. Okay, so these are my fern leaf earrings. I'm so happy to wear them. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please like and subscribe to our channel so you can see more. Aloha.